Yep, China is basically starving foreign athletes at the Beijing Olympics, and they don't seem to give a single flying fuck. And apparently, they decided that it would be selfish of them to only starve their own citizens. So as the communist country that they are, they figured that everyone should be equal. So now, everyone, including foreign representative athletes, get rationed leftovers. The person you see on the left, well, I'll save her for Saturday's video because what's happening to her is truly fucking horrendous, and I do wish the best for her in her circumstances and situation. So if you're watching this and you're curious about what's happening to her, I'll be covering her in the next video. If you want to do your own research, her name is Kim Mailemans? I apologize for butchering that name. Anyway, that was a side topic, but as you can see on the right side picture, what the fuck is that? This literally looks like the leftovers off a damn plate. The fucking pasta is discolored, that rib looks simultaneously dry, fossilized, and half-eaten, and what the hell is the rest of that crap on the top? It's like they got inspiration from Chuck E. Cheese's Pizza Mystery and decided to make the Chinese ripoff version. And that is the kind of food that is being served at the hotel where the Olympic athletes are staying. These highly trained representatives that are coming to a world-class event to showcase the top talents in their respective fields are being given what looks like off-brand MREs by a country that likes to boast about its wealth and totally not happening human violations. I feel like with the amount that I'm insulting China, I need to say this or else I'll get cancelled. But I don't hate Chinese people, and I'm not racist towards them in any way. If anything, that's like spitting in my own fucking face since a decent part of my blood is Chinese. But what I do hate is the Chinese government, who's a bunch of hypocritical assholes. So yeah, not racist, just very against the government led by Winnie the Pooh. The picture before was posted by Valeria Venetsova, sorry for butchering another name, who said, and quote, "My stomach hurts, I'm very pale, and I have huge black circles around my eyes. I want all this to end. I cry every day, I'm very tired." According to her as well, the same meal had been served to her for breakfast, lunch, and dinner for at that point 5 days in a row. Even USA prisons don't have food that goddamn bad. Like shit, it may be slop, but at least you get enough nutrients to get you through the day. This amount of food given to the athletes doesn't even seem like enough energy to power through a fucking wank session. And also, apparently, the rooming accommodations are also really fucking bad, with just about everyone complaining about them in terms of the athletes, their coaching staff, and the officials. You know, I thought the country that's hosting the games is supposed to provide for the incoming athletes so that they can compete in top form, not like a bunch of impoverished, syphilitic beggars that need to kowtow for a fucking grain of rice. What's funny is that if you compare this to the Beijing Olympics back in 2008, everyone had a good time, the shit was absolutely amazing, and the biggest thing is that China wasn't a complete piece of shit. They had put in place like tons of things to help foreigners get around in the big city, and even had locals get basic English lessons so that they can help anyone that got lost. Athletes had good food, and everyone had a good shot at performing their best. And then now they discourage locals from learning any English of any sort. They practically treat foreigners as an enemy invading force, and they're so fucking petty to the point that some street signs that had English on them to help said foreigners get around, China said fuck you and changed the English letters to pinyin. If you don't know what pinyin is, that's the Chinese written language, which looks like this, and whatever the fuck this is. Such petty assholes. Seriously, how can you pretend to be some kind of greater than thou government who criticizes everyone else, yet can't even feed a bunch of Olympians? What makes it so much fucking worse is that it's not even like the Olympics is forced on a country. For anyone that doesn't know, a country actually has to bid for that shit with a major city that they want it to be hosted in. Obviously, there's a really long process after that, but bottom line, they signed themselves up for it, aka it's on them. I love how apparently almost no media company seems to care about this shit. Like, shouldn't the mistreatment of foreign representatives be a top story? Like, shouldn't that be exactly what these dickhead journalists want to report about? Of course, it's not like there's no one reporting about it, as I wouldn't have even learned of this if that was the case. But where the fuck is everyone else? This is what Google gives me if I search up Beijing Olympics. No surprise, everyone is reporting on the events, as that is probably what people would want, but how is there not a single thing on the front page of the malnourished and shittily treated athletes? I went ahead and went through Google pages to find any article reporting on the food and accommodation issue. You want to know how long it took me to find even a single article? 5 whole pages. And I even went an extra 5 pages after that. And you want to know how many more I found? Fucking 0. 0, zip, nada. Like shit, I know all the media corporations want to give China a sloppy kiss on the shaft while getting rammed in the back by Winnie the Pooh himself, Xi Jinping, but holy tits, those guys are all a bunch of assholes. You want to know something kind of funny? China made some shit accusations about the US paying off other countries to underperform, yet looking at the living conditions for every other country's competitor is pretty sus. It's just a theory that has absolutely no basis, but I have a sneaking suspicion that all of the Chinese athletes are eating just fine, unlike these fucking dumpster prolapse scraps that every other athlete and official seems to be consuming. Seems more like someone else is trying to sabotage the competition. I'm just saying. So if a certain country with well-fed athletes happen to kick the dog shit out of everyone else, well, we all know a plausible reason to explain that. Also, as of making this script, it doesn't seem like any country is underperforming compared to the US. If anything, us poor Americans are getting our asses whooped by Germany, Norway, Sweden, and, well, everyone else above us. So there's that to China's dumbassery. Anyway, that's the whole situation with the Beijing Olympics and the whole food issue there right now. So, you know, as if it wasn't already controversial enough, this just adds more icing to the already rotting, desecrated cake that are the 2022 Beijing Olympic Games. So yeah, fuck those assholes on the board that let this shit slide, and especially fuck those that put these kinds of atrocities forward. See you all later. Have a decent day. Ja.